Let's talk about the Arizona State Sun Devil hockey team because, yes, we will cover them this upcoming season as well. There's still plenty of hockey in Arizona to talk about, and things are getting really exciting for ASU because just this week they landed a very, very, very highly rated recruit, Cullen Potter. What a name, by the way.
Right?
That is like Twilight meets Harry Potter, basically my upbringing in books. Cullen Potter, are you kidding me? He originally committed to Michigan State, which he chose over schools like North Dakota and Minnesota. For NTDP this season, he had 46 points, 17 goals, 29 assists in 54 games played. Only 2 NTD players ever have entered school after just one season, Noah Hannafin and Zach Werenski. He is becoming just the third. Chris Peters said he might be the biggest recruit in Arizona State program history, and a lot of early, obviously he would be a 2025 draft pick. We're still in 2024. There's some way too early projections out there, but the ones so far have him mid-first round NHL draft pick. This is a huge, huge get for Arizona State and Greg Powers. Craig, I know you reached out to Chris Peters, who is, of course,
and Corey Proman and Craig Button, our usuals. Like Corey Proman was the first one to get back to me saying top 2 round pick, chance at round 1, best skater in his age group, but small. I think he's 5'9", listed at 5'9". I never know if these are accurate heights for players or if they're measuring them in skates. Chris Peters agreed with that he could be a first round pick. Craig Button doesn't like this prospect very much, doesn't think he's dynamic. He's not sold on him at all. So I'll put that out there. But I'm going to read some of the things that Chris Peters, because he's a friend of the show, and he gave me so much information on him. So I'm just going to go through this, okay? Best recruit in program history, but if they bring him in this year, they're asking for a disaster. He's not ready.
Interesting.
This is interesting. And if he were bigger, we'd be talking first round lock, but he's small, below average USHL production when compared to NTDP stars at the same age. He was not called up to the U18 team last year, which is telling because U18 needed scoring help. So this is all interesting stuff. Again, this is all underscoring the point that he's not ready for this step yet. There are a lot of people that I've talked to who think this was the way that ASU was going to land a recruit of this caliber, by offering him a chance to play next year, a year maybe before he's ready, instead of going the USHL route and developing a little bit. You mentioned Werenski and Hannafin. I think he's 40th all-time in his age group with the NTDP in terms of points produced. If you look at the guys ahead of him, other than 2 of his teammates in the NTDP, they've all made it to the NHL. So the question here is, are they rushing him? Is he going to be forced into this situation a year before he's ready? But again, this was a chance for ASU to get a really high-level recruit. So we're going to see this kid play, and he's represented by his advisor is Ryan Barnes, who is a guy I talk to all the time. He's a really cool guy. So I'm looking forward to diving into this kid with a story soon.
It's funny, though, and we can go back, Craig, because it's been a very long time since you or I played in college. And I think when you go back to the 80s and 90s, it was very common for players to go from high school to college at 18 years old. I don't think the USHL and the NAL and all those leagues weren't really development leagues yet. It was just a different landscape. Now kids, you wait. You play a couple of years after you're done with high school. You just do. And partly when you look at juniors, even in Canada, you look at the juniors, it's younger kids, 16, 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds. Now here in college, it's older. They're men. Physically, it's a big deal. Yeah. It's a big deal. But the biggest deal, as I look at Harry Potter, they got to call him Harry. For sure his nickname's
the chosen
Harry.
one.
Come on. For sure it's Harry. So here's my problem. So when you go on Elite Prospects, which are very, very good site, Elite Prospects, a place of birth, it's January 10th, 2007 in Hortonville, Wisconsin. Mm-hmm. If you go to HockeyDB, another very well-respected site, born January 10th, 2007 in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So for me personally, I haven't decided if I like the kid or not because I don't know where he was born.
And it's your 2 guys' places. That's
right.
Yeah. And so you also look at where he played when he was 15. That didn't clear it up either. It's called the Minnesota, Wisconsin 15U AAA team. So, buddy, pick a state. Like we need somebody
obviously
to get boots on the ground.
Wisconsin. I mean,
so yeah, he played for the Minnesota, Wisconsin team.
Wow.
And then
Cullen Potter, if you're watching, we need some clarity.
Sure he's watching. So it is important for ASU to get these.
I don't know where Hortonville is, but now I'm looking at where it is. It's northwest of Appleton and Lake Winnipesaukee.
It's fun to say.
Winnebago. What am I saying? Winnipesaukee.
There's some great names.
Southwest of Green Bay.
We played for
in northern Wisconsin.
So maybe he is, but it is for ASU to get a 5-star recruit it's important in their process of becoming, now that they're in the NCHC. It's a big deal. You need to compete with those schools,
and they're probably going to take their licks for a little bit in the NCHC. It's the best conference in the country.
Yep. Now you're not competing. The truth is, before you get a conference, you're able to get a lot of guys through the portal, but now you're competing against Denver, Duluth, North Dakota for these recruits in your same conference.
Yep.
So,
and you have what are the advantages of ASU over some of those schools? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they have them.
Aside from weather, right? Look at the facilities at Arizona State University. Like I know people don't talk about this as much in college football because everybody's
got it.
There are very few programs. I mean, the Big Ten has them, obviously. And there are a couple other programs that have crazy facilities, but this is Pac-12 facilities. This is a major state university. Yes. You walk into the weight room at ASU, you're like, holy crap, the facilities and the trainers that are available to these kids. It's amazing here.
Clearly,
not to mention Exos, right?
The academics, the Ivy League of the. No, that was a joke.
Hey, ASU's on the.
Watch it, Petey. One of us teaches at ASU here.
Yeah. Well,
the Ivy League.
How about me just stepping to ASU's defense? Wildcat.
I know. I was wondering why you did that. I thought you.
Listen. Craig's wife works there, teaches there. Danielle teaches there.
My oldest is in school there. Barrett
teaches there.
I want to know how many NCAA hockey kids are going besides Kerfoot. How many guys are going for their education? Do you think they go? Oh, that's a really good. That's a really good school for English literature.
I heard great things about their sports photography program.
There you go.
Okay. I wanted to ask you this while we're on this topic.
Yes.
Like ASU still has some inroads to make in terms of its reputation as a hockey program, right? You've heard all the criticism. Oh, Greg Power is just a club coach. They don't know how to recruit. Well, they brought in Albie O'Connell, who some people believe there's no better recruiter in the game than Albie O'Connell. There's still this perception that ASU doesn't know how to develop players. It's out there that their development program maybe isn't top notch. I know Dana Borges brought in an entire program. I need to write about this, dive into it, because in spite of the fact that Josh Doan and Joey DeCord exist and both went to ASU and did just fine, like I get pushback. Well, they both have dads who can, put them in touch with other training opportunities. It's probably true of most hockey kids at this stage, but they did produce a couple guys like that are now playing in the NHL and having some success early on. I don't know what you think about all that.
It's interesting because it's real. Sorry about that, gang. It's real. Like when you look at a school like Denver, Duluth, North Dakota, Michigan, Minnesota, BU, BC, they turn out NHL athletes. Yeah. They've also been programs for 100 years. And so you've got that history that makes that, it's the self-fulfilling prophecy. I think what ASU needs is they need somebody to go through the process. Now you do have DeCord. Now you do have Doan. If you can get Cullen Potter as a 5-star recruit and you get the ability to win, you just need to get over that hump. Now, is it what creates that player when you talk about development? Facilities matter.
Yep.
And you just said that it's Pac-12, or now what is it, the new thing?
The Big 12.
Yeah, the Big 12. Whatever, for this week. Big 12 facilities, that's top notch in the country for facilities for training. And I don't just mean weight room. I mean they have access to nutritionists and they have so many other things besides just the hockey coach. Mm-hmm. Greg Powers is an amazing person. He's unbelievable. I think he's a fantastic recruiter that is a cheerleader for this program.
CEO is what he is. He understands that side of coaching, which I think a lot of people in NHL circles don't get at all about college coaching. It's not just X's and O's. You need to fundraise. You need to glad hand. You are a CEO of a company.
Yeah, you're the travel planner.
A CEO of a company.
You're the travel planner. You're literally everything.
Yeah.
You're doing the budgeting. He's everything.
Yep.
So as long as he continues to surround himself with people that are premier coaches, and I think he's done that, that's how you get the reputation of being a coaching staff that gets it through. I don't think this can all fully rest on the shoulders of Greg Powers.
Yeah.
I just don't.
You're right about surrounding yourself with people, and he's obviously made inroads with those two hires. So
yep, I'm curious to see where this goes.
I don't know how much of it is perception versus reality. Well, they have, like you said, they haven't been around very long. They haven't produced well.
For sure.
What do they know? Maybe it does just take time.
Ago.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Club team 10 years ago playing at Oceanside. You know where North Dakota was playing 10 years ago? In the best arena in North America. Minnesota.
Slow your roll there, buddy.
No, it's best rink in North America.
Don't they have the same stone from the Taj Mahal?
They pull it in from Italy.
Yeah.
The
it's
inlaid
crazy.
marble.
Yeah.
It is the most. It's have you been?
No.
It's unbelievable. Yeah.
It is.
It's
I've never
unbelievable.
been.
Indoor running track on grass. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
But my point is, all of these programs, BU, BC, Michigan, Michigan State, Denver, Duluth, they've all been around forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we're go back into the 30s, 40s, 50s. Like they've been around for a very long time. Of course you win national championships and put guys into the NHL during that. This team was in Oceanside 10 years ago with kids playing club hockey
5
that they
years
had to
ago.
pay themselves.
Yeah.
So, yes, it's going to take time. Now, what have they done in that short time? They've built a world-class facility. They've got a fantastic arena, which is now they've gone into the premier conference in hockey.
Yeah.
Like they've done all of those things. It is going to take time. Craig said it. They're going to lose some hockey games next year. They are. It's an unbelievably tough conference. They're going to lose some hockey games and take their licks. Getting a recruit like Potter is going to be the first step in getting that next place, because if Potter comes here and plays well, now you can go, oh shit, I get all the benefits of a great facility, great weather, great travel schedule. They're in a great conference. Buddy, I love North Dakota. It's a great place to go to school. But you've been to Grand Forks in the middle of winter? You want to go to Tempe, Arizona in February, or do you want to go to Grand Forks, North Dakota in the middle of February? I tell you what, it's not even close. This team will get good players to play here. It's just going to take time.
St. Thomas joining the conference too, by the way. Another Minnesota team for you to get
and
behind.
They used to be
There you
D2
go.
forever.
Yeah.
And they're going through those same growing pains.
I like how D1 hockey's growing. Let's
Yeah.
keep this going and let's get more teams out west.